know how I can help you. As you probably know from those who are friends with me, those who are following me, I have my hands in a lot and I wear a lot of hats. And so I want to know the best ways that I can help you, because there's no business without being in service to others. So, how can I serve you best? And so, I'm making this video twofold to give you a life update, especially around my attempts at Go Brave 75, and then also some different offerings that I have that I think will support you on your journey, whether you are wanting to build your confidence or do some soul work, whether you want to kind of ideate and figure out what the next move is in your business, how you want to expand it. And then for those who are interested in being authors, me sharing my insights as to how I have done this work and what it looks like now. And so, yeah, I am glad to be here to share with you. So let's get into, and I have some notes just to keep me on track. But I want to get into the life updates before I share about some other things and the links and everything that I'm going to share to be able to submit questions, because fast forward to rewind. Fast forward, I want you to tell me whatever questions that you might have related to your next brave move, what you want to move forward with that you haven't quite yet done, what you had set to establish in the new year that you kind of forgot about, or rather life happened and now you need to revisit that, and how I could support you, or what questions I can answer for you to help you navigate this shift into the latter half of 2025. So before we get there, like I said, I'll put some links for you to be able to ask some questions, and then where you can subscribe so I can respond to those questions. Before we get there, Go Brave 75. So Go Brave 75 was my version of implementing 75 hard. If you are not familiar with 75 hard, it included 5 things that I had to do on a daily basis. 1 of which, drink a gallon of water. 2, to have a meal plan. 3, to take progress pictures. 4, to work out for 2 45-minute workouts, 1 of which had to be outside, so a total of an hour and 30-minute workout daily. And then reading 10 pages of a nonfiction book daily. So I would like to say I was successful because the point of this is to maintain all 5 of those within each day. And if you were to miss something, even a part of something, so let's just say I only got an hour workout in, 30 minutes of that was outside, 30 minutes of that was me doing something else, but I missed the other 30 minutes, technically I would have had to start from day 1. I did not do that. I would say my first hiccup was in the 30-day time frame, because that's when I traveled for work and hung out with family. I stayed consistent with my activities, but sometimes I didn't meet the mark of certain aspects of the activity. So maybe I did not read 10 pages, but rather 7. Came close, but not complete. Or I did work out, but it wasn't for the full hour and a half. So I did 75 days of 85 to 90% of the 75 hard, the real version. But like I said, Go Brave 75 was the version I was doing, because my whole point of doing it was to acquire the discipline I need in order to change my beliefs and re-engage more focus in what I believe God has called me to do. So that was a success. And I say that was a success because since then I ended my Go Brave 75 on June 14th, as it has now been 2 weeks, and I have maintained working out. I have given myself a little wiggle room for my meal plan because I am traveling, visiting family for the holidays. I'm kind of taking my foot off the gas when it comes to being very strict around what I'm eating, at least for this season. But my goal is to get back on track and actually implement Go Brave 75 in October fully. Yes, that's going to include it running into the holidays, but I'm not so much worried about that. And So yeah, it's been 2 weeks. I maintain my working out. It has not been for the full hour and a half, but I move my body daily, whether that's me walking for 30 minutes or more, or me getting on an elliptical bike, doing weight training. I'm still maintaining those things, which was my goal: consistency and discipline, because I knew if I could do that for my body and for my well-being, I know that I can do that for my mind. And that's when I knew, or that's how I know, that consistency is lasting to where it becomes discipline, and then after that it becomes a lifestyle. As you probably know, I always have frameworks or systems or outlines to how I do things, and so I made a promise to myself to commit to doing Go Brave 75. With that, I vocalized it. I maintained communication throughout, more so my Instagram, and then from there I built that consistency, which led me to the discipline that I have now, that has shifted me into a new lifestyle. Granted, that is still evolving, that is still growing, and so I'm excited to see what happens with that. So just a few things that, if you decide you want to do this for yourself, what you can do. For me, I need a more rigorous fitness routine. I was doing things I knew how to do. I pushed myself, I can't say to my limit, but I pushed myself. But I would definitely in the future enlist a trainer or someone to help me on the front end so I can build my momentum in my physical activity, because I was doing what I knew to do. I'm good with lifting weights. I'm good with doing cardio. I'm good. I started to do more stretching and more, I guess, calisthenics. So I want to enlist someone to kind of help me navigate that journey a little bit better so I can see the physical results I want to see. I can't say that I completely, lost all the weight I wanted to lose based off of what I was seeing people achieve. And I believe it was twofold, because of me going off of what I already knew. I'm not a trainer, so I can only do so much. And then two, also my meal planning. I need to be a little bit more strict about my consumption. What I did for my meal planning was I meal planned. I maintained eating white meat, so chicken and turkey, a little bit of seafood. I definitely minimized my carb intake, pretty much little to no bread. And if I did have some type of carb, it was like quinoa or brown rice or sweet potato. I had that early on. I did a lot of kale and spinach, asparagus, and then like a California medley mix that had like broccoli, cauliflower, and carrots. So I did a mixture of those things, and had a few snacks, trail mix. I did like this deli meat and pickles. I know, little snack. I had these like turkey jerky sticks that I would eat, that I got from Aldi. So I would mix it up, but it wasn't strict. And so in the future, I would be a little bit more strict and a little bit more specific so that I know how my body is receiving it and what my body likes and what I'm learning along the way. Definitely a few things that I learned around the way. Popcorn. Like, I stopped it because it was giving me this kind of like an acid reflux kind of thing. So I had to minimize that. And when I did have it, I had it in the day, because I guess in the evening it just wasn't sitting well with me. Just a few things that I observed. With drinking the gallon of water, I will say, like, it definitely flushed my system out a lot. And I think that was really eye-opening for me. Definitely made me more hydrated, more aware of, how my body was functioning throughout the day. I felt really good. I wasn't overly tired or exhausted. There were a few days just from, merely working hard and doing all the things. Let's see. Expectations. So, as I probably can assume one would think, or at least my assumption was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna lose all this weight and I'm gonna be like this, like, yes, I'm gonna be skinty. No, that did not happen, at least not for me. Like I said, a lot of it had to do with the not so strenuous meal prepping or meal organization, and not having a trainer to help me dictate the process of my working out. And because I'm older, I will be 37 this year. So, yeah, my body does not quickly shift. Granted, I have no excuse because I don't have any children, but I definitely will, again, after this vacation period, after this summer season, will get a little bit more specific, more, yeah, detailed with that process. But lessons learned, definitely had expectations, and it was a little bit discouraging. I would say halfway through, after I had my first hiccup, like in that 30-day time frame, because I was good, let's just say 35 days on, but then I traveled and I kind of like broke my momentum a little bit. Still maintained everything, just missed a few things if you caught it earlier. But yeah, I want to say that that's it. Just making sure that you are realistic with your expectations with this process, because you'll see a whole lot of pictures of the original 75 hard with people just losing so much weight. Like I said, a lot of it had to do with me not being as strict, I believe, as I needed to be. I'm okay with that, but I feel better nonetheless. I feel a whole lot better. Like I said, I have my notes, which is why I'm like veering off. Another part of consistency that I have maintained outside of the 75 Hard Challenge was my consistency in getting out a newsletter on a weekly basis, Mondays at 6 p.m. So if you're not already subscribed, go ahead and do that. You can find that tagged at the top of my page. Another thing was staying consistent with my video uploads for YouTube. If you are not subscribed to my YouTube channel, Go Brave LLC, what are you waiting for? You need to do that, make that happen for your life, because I'm talking about in that cultivating courage. So different aspects of what that looks like in leadership, in life, what it means to be courageous, all the things courage. And I would say every other month, I add a little bit more to build levels of consistency, which I proved to myself through my version of Go Brave 75 that consistency was possible, and it led to discipline, which I have sustained. A portion of the sustainability in that I'm still moving my body on a daily basis. Even to the point to where I had a very long day. I traveled 4 hours to do a presentation, and I didn't get home till about 9 o'clock, and I made no excuse. I had every excuse because I'm tired. I can take a break. It's no big deal. I made every excuse, but I'm like, what else am I going to be doing? Scrolling? What else am I going to be doing? Watching Netflix? Okay, let me go to the gym. Like, I had no excuse because I had been consistent and developed that discipline for so long. There was no, what? Come on. Let's do the thing. Get it over with. And I was happy that I did it. And like I said, I've stayed consistent with it. So with that being said, I with all of that, the Go Brave 75, that update, I've been watching a lot of podcasts, listening to a lot of great leaders, a lot of great business owners, a lot of great people in industries that have been successful. But it all goes back to, what are your activity goals? What are the things that you're going to do every day or every week that will not necessarily get you the results like that, but what will develop the consistency and discipline you need so that when the results start coming, you don't get so excited that you stop doing the work. And that has been an overarching lesson for me, to be consistent enough in whatever I do, making those activity goals so that at the end of the day, I'm not so overly excited about the results that I forget to be consistent, that I forget to implement the discipline to get the work done. I'm doing the work now. I may not be able to see the results, but I'm putting the work in now so that when the results come, I'm not fazed by it, but I just incorporate it with what I'm already doing. So that is my advice, suggestion to you for those who are trying to navigate your journey of either refocusing or re-envisioning your goals or re-energizing or getting some more momentum. This is the summertime. There's a lot of ebbs and flows in families as school is out. Depending on the type of work that you do, you might be off work, or you might have a lighter load because there's not a whole lot going on in your workplace. Whatever that is, I would say take advantage of the moment, of the season shifting, in order to get your mind back focused on the things that you intended to do early on this year. And so with that being said, I have several opportunities, a few of which are free, for you all to engage. As I mentioned, I have gone through a lot of ebbs and flows when it comes to business, for those who have been following me for some time, and in that I have learned a lot of lessons. And by no means am I saying I'm an expertise, because I truly believe the only expertise I have is that of my own lived experience. So speaking from my lived experience, speaking from levels of expertise that I have in program and project management, and speaking, leadership, goodness gracious, and curriculum building, those levels of expertise, and then also my results. I have done a variety of different things, all towards developing workshops and facilitating programs, and I have testimonials that back up the different things that I've done to teach and educate. I know that my giftedness is in that, and so I try to put my all into those different aspects. Now, I will admittedly say, when it comes to systems, I'm not the best person to have a conversation about systems, because I'm still building and working on creating my own and pulling from the different experts that I've leaned into to help me to build the systems to build out a better business. Honestly, I would love to hire a VA, and probably will do so before the end of this year. So to help me to put things in order. Right now, I'm trying to work at systematizing a lot of the work that I do, so that way I can hand it over and delegate it, because your girl is carrying a lot, and I don't want to have to do that all the time, because I have determined what's best for me is to be employed while also having a business. And if the opportunity comes for me to shift into full-time business, then that's what I will do. But in the meantime, between time, and full transparency, I don't want to have to worry about medical. I don't have to worry about retirement. All that is being taken care of by my employer. I want a consistent salary, knowing that I'm going to get paid bi-weekly. My business is not as consistent as I would like. So I will make that shift when a level of consistency comes. But that also has a lot to do with me and how I want to show up, and how regularly I want to do so, and how much work I want to put in. So I've learned a lot of lessons along the way. I have had the desire to full-time entrepreneurship because I want my time. I want to not have a ceiling on how much money I make, and but yet my mindset wasn't there to actually say I deserve, or not even I deserve, but to detach my value from my worth, to detach my value from my rate, rather, to again detach my value from my rate. And so looking at that, developing the mindset for that, I'm still working on that internal system to develop the external systems to be able to delegate more and, have my business continue to thrive. And so with that, I want to be able to help you as best as I can with what I have learned. So in the comments, I'm going to put a link to a basic Google form where you can ask whatever question that you want, whether it's around confidence, your soul work, business ideation, business expansion, authorship. If you want to write and you don't know where to start, any aspect of your journey that you want to shift into navigating, or do something a little different, or kind of re-engage the thoughts that you had before. What does it look like when, whatever question that you have that I believe I have the experience, expertise, and results from, I will answer. Those that I don't have the answer for, I will actually give you some suggestions of potentially who to follow or who to seek out to be able to give you the answers to their questions. So by way of maybe a YouTube channel, I recommend someone for you to follow, whatever that may be, because I'm not saying that I'm an expert. Like I said, only of my lived experience. I am a resource that am happy to share other resources with you that will give you a better idea of how to navigate the journey that you're on. But in the meantime, between time, go ahead and ask those questions that you have. And then also for those who are interested in like actually moving forward with, okay, I'm sick of sitting on what God gave me. I'm sick of sitting on this dream that I have. I'm sick of just waiting on myself to get it right or get it together, and you need accountability and you need support, then I encourage you to connect with me for Brave the Shift. It is a 90-minute intensive where you can work with me one-on-one, and or you can get your girlfriends together, 3 of you, and divvy up the cost and work with me all 3. 90-minute intensive. It can either be virtual or in person if you're in Northeast Ohio, where I could tackle whatever questions that you send to me. Like I said, I'm not saying I know and have all the answers, but what I am saying is that I'm here to support you and help you navigate to the next best brave move or brave option that you have in order to be successful in life and business and leadership and family, whatever that may look like. By no means am I perfect at this thing, because I'm still learning and growing, and I honestly just want to be a few steps ahead of the people that I'm working with, so that way I'm not so far off that I can't be relatable, so that I not be so far that I can't connect on a deeper level. So with that being said, Brave the Shift is available to you. I have a whole lot of resources. One of my suggestions, especially mid-year, if not quarterly, but especially twice a year, is to do a self-inventory. And so a self-inventory is not so much for you to be selfish and self-centered, but to identify, okay, what are your values? What do you find that's most important to you? How are you making decisions? Are they being filtered through your values? Looking at your confidence, if you're playing small, how to show up and do so authentically. So all of those aspects of who you are, whose you are, who you're made to be, helps you to navigate what you're doing and what you have. So that way, when you get to that place of real peace, real settledness in who you are, you can actually give from your overflow. It's not you giving from a depleted space. It's overflow giving, which reinforces that peace, reinforces that desire to help and support people. And so, like I said, I recommend a self-inventory. That is something that you can also find at Go Brave. And I would say if you catch this video and stay here for the duration of this video, that if you go ahead and get that, that's only $19.99. You also get a mini video. You get 48 thought-provoking assessment questions to help you navigate through the self-inventory. I will include in that. If you go ahead and purchase that this summer, I'll give you to September, but I would put some urgency around it because you don't want to wait that long. But if you do that this summer, I will offer a free 30-minute consultation to talk through that inventory once you get that complete. Because I believe once you kind of get once you get a good idea of who you are, what you want to be doing, what you want to have as a result of those things, then again, you can start operating from the overflow that you have, because knowing who you are helps you to minimize that burnout and overwhelm, because you're not just going to do things just for the sake of doing them. You're going to do things that align with your beliefs and your behavior, so that they connect with your behavior, because that was where I had a whole lot of disconnect or alignment issues. I believed one thing, but my behaviors were not matching up with that. So it caused a lot of internal turmoil. And I think that's a lot of what we're experiencing. And I believe a self-inventory will help with that. Of course, prayer, fasting, reading your word for those who are believers, listening in, that is going to help too. But that inventory will help you to ask yourself the right questions. I truly believe that if you notice in scripture, God didn't always, or Christ rather, did not always answer the questions that were asked of him. And more often than not, he would ask questions to see where the mindset of the people that he was dealing with was. And so questions help us navigate life a little better, because encourages us to think critically, to be problem solvers. And so I want you to take advantage of that inventory. And if you want to go further with it and explore it in a little bit more depth, then of course, like I said, I'll give you that freebie of that 30 minutes. But I would encourage us to even go further with the Brave the Shift intensive, that 90-minute, to explore even deeper. And with that, again, by I think I said July 1st, so that's going to be Tuesday. If you were to invest in Brave the Shift, I'm going to be offering a additional 30-minute unlimited coaching. So if you want to take advantage of that, go to www.gobravellc.com. You're going to want to search Brave the Shift because it's not automatically accessible, because I want people who really want to be a part of this experience to be engaged. It's not something that's just gonna be open on my website, because I want you to fully do that work. Now, the Elevate Your Confidence, that self-inventory, that's at the front of the page. So just go to www.gobravellc.com. Like I said, for the contributing your questions for the Q&A, I'm gonna put that in the comments, and then for you to subscribe to get the answers to the Q&A, I'm going to put that in the comments as well. So I believe that's it. I don't even know how long I've been talking. I've seen a few people pop in, but yeah, it's been a while since I've been on here, and I just wanted to say hello and support you again the best way that I can. Yeah, if you want to navigate this journey with me and just kind of really figuring out this thing called life, feel free to DM me. I want to help in any way that I possibly can. I'm often asking questions because I don't want to assume anything from anyone. And like I said, I truly want to be a help. Granted, yes, any person who is running a business wants to get paid for the help that they provide. But at the end of the day, if I have a resource that I've already completed, for example, for those who want to be authors, I have a resource that I already completed. A workshop that I did, it was an encore workshop of a workshop that I did in person that has resources attached to it, free. If you want that, DM me. It's for free. Because what helps me to know that you're serious about what's next for you is that if you actually put in the work to the things that you actually do get for free. YouTube is free. Facebook is free. All the things and avenues where you can get resources for free. Like, what do you do with the free stuff? If you don't do anything with the free stuff, then I can't expect you to really do anything with the paid stuff. Now, paying for it provides more buy-in to actually completing it, but you still have to work towards a mindset to say, this is going to be a benefit to me. This investment, though I may not see it on the front end, is going to be a benefit to me because I'm going to do the work and I'm going to follow through. And that's why it's so valuable, because you're going to be investing something. So if it's free, you're going to invest time and or effort. It's going to cost you time and or effort, your work. When you pay for something, typically it's going to require effort or time. If you're going to spend your time, then sometimes it's not going to cost you any money, but effort. So with that being said, I can watch YouTubes all day long. It's going to require me time. Now, the effort will determine whether or not I reap the results of the time that I've spent. Whereas if I pay for something, I've invested tens of thousands of dollars into myself, into my business, and that cut time for me. Now, I still had to apply the same effort, but at least I was applying my effort and focus because I paid for direction. I paid for community. I paid for accountability. And so it all depends on where you're lacking. If you're lacking in accountability, the more likely than not, you're going to have to pay for that with your money and with your time. If you want to move fast with something and get more focused, you're going to have to pay somebody who knows more than you to save you time, to eventually save you money at the end of the day. So, all that to say, let me help you. Let me help you the best way I can. If I don't have the answer, I will direct you to someone who does. If I have the answer and I have a freebie, I will give that to you. No questions asked. If I had the answer and I have a program that can help you navigate that with better ease, with accountability, then I'm going to offer that to you as an investment. So I hope that this video was beneficial to you, regardless of where you came in, what it is that you're looking for, learning how to build consistency, discipline, the resources that I have available to you. And yeah, like I said, I will link a few of those different things. I would encourage you, regardless, to visit www.gobraveLLC.com for more information about what we do at Go Brave, ways in which you can connect with us, partner with us. If you need a speaker or workshop facilitator on leadership, authorship, courageous living, what it means to cultivate courage, by all means, reach out to me. I love y'all. Until next time, let your soul work be your best work to a better you.